August and September were kind of the months of bigger projects. So having a bit of a look around what I've done, I finally finished my Quiltmas quilt. I got the quilting done, or the hand quilting. I'd previously done the machine quilting back in Christmas last year. Finally got around to doing the hand quilting over winter. Overthought it a little bit, but that's what I do best. And then, of course, I got the binding on finally, and it's so nice to finally have that done. The last thing I do need to do is grab out the lint roller, get rid of all the cat hair on it because somebody decided it was a perfect place to sleep over the couple of months it was on my trolley and on the couch getting worked on. So once I get all the cat hair off it, I can finally take some photos and share it on my blog and officially call that project done. And then the big thing that was happening over the last half of August and into early September was I took an oil painting class at our local art gallery, and it was super fun to get get some real instruction in a new to me medium. I haven't touched oils in over a decade. So it was super fun, and it was a still life, which was also a new to me format. So that was 5 Wednesdays. I was at the art gallery doing some painting, and I was low key thrilled with how it turned out. I do still need to hang it in my craft room though. And then at the end of August, I drove to Sydney with number two son for a just a quick overnight trip so I could pick up number one son from university. With both the boys being drivers, I was able to get stacks of crochet some serious progress on my blanket. And then it's one of our big constraints in September that does kind of put a clanger on a lot of my crafting is that it's birthday season. So all four of our children have been having birthdays this past month. And for my eldest, he didn't have anything specific he wanted. So we decided we'd just give him some money for different experiences and things that he might like to buy while he's living in the city. And of course, I didn't want to just give him a wad of cash. So I made up a stack of envelopes with this craft card to put it in and labeled each one, to go rock climbing, to see a movie, to buy a book, to go out for dinner, stuff like that. A random stop and this cute crochet butterfly. And then at home, I was back into some journaling. I was working in my collage sketchbook this month. I had this idea one random day. So my crafty offsider, my podcast partner, and I have started playing Pips as part of the New York Times games in our morning routine. So we do all of them. We start with Wordle, Connections, Strands, the Mini, and now Pips. And if you finish your Pips in the right amount of time, you get a cookie with your score. And so, it kind of became this running joke about cookie monsters or lack of cookies. And I got this idea that I wanted to do a cookie page in my sketchbook journal. So I was working on that. I just created the cookies out of craft paper. I jelly printed an index page to create the dominoes. And then to finish the page, I used some offcuts from my Quiltmas quilt to chop up some little squares in yellow and green to represent the Wordle. And it was such a fun project. I think it turned out super cute. I was really happy with how it turned out. I did end up filming most of the process, so I might even do a craft with me video about this page that I've pulled together. A couple of months ago, I made some polymer clay earrings, or the start of polymer clay earrings, and they've been sitting on my desk ever since until I actually got to Spotlight to buy some earring backs. I finally got the earring backs glued on, and then they sat on my desk for another 2 weeks. And so last weekend, I finally got sick of them and spent a bit of time getting them onto some white card so that I could take a photo of them for the blog. They still haven't made it to the blog. But I got them carded and photographed, and they're now safely in my jewellery box. I actually don't know whether I might just leave them there, I'm thinking, because by February it will be our show. So I need to pick a pair that I want to enter in the show locally. I always try and enter a range of things, not necessarily to compete, but just to have stuff in the show and keep the pavilion entries, looking healthy. It's exciting to go into the pavilion and have a wander around and see everything. Part of enjoying that and being in community is making our own contribution. So I'll definitely enter a pair or two. It feels like it's been ages since I've actually taken some proper blog photos. So it was really fun to actually get my background out, think about styling, charge my camera because it was flat. It had been that long since I'd had my big camera out. And then I closed out the month working on my Hidden Wells quilt. Well, my mum's Hidden Wells quilt. I did start that a couple of months ago. What was that? That was Easter I started that. So here I am unpicking the spare blocks to turn them into a strip to put in the backing. I was hoping to get the backing done last weekend, but when I looked at the fabric, I'm just like, it was too stained, it was too thin. So I need to go to the fabric shop today, grab some calico, and hopefully maybe this weekend I might get it finished. We'll see. Keep an eye out for October's vlog and see how successful I was with that idea. And that was August and September in a nutshell. I'll see you next week with another video.